Okay, here we go. Got some more Spider-Man books to show you. Before I start that though, on my grading video from a few years ago, I talked about that little tape trick about folding the tape over on itself, the top of it, and then sticking it to the book and then pulling it off. And you can leave it right on there and it doesn't get stuck to the book. Well, guess what? When you roll, if you take the tape off and you don't take it all the way off the bag and stick it somewhere, it kind of curls up like this. And that leaves the sticky part exposed. So what I always do is when I take the book out, I take the tape, and I push it back down. This little flap doesn't have anything sticky on it because it's turned over on itself, but I have had a book stick to the back of the tape, so just be careful about that. Always push the tape back down. I got 4 books I'm going to show you today. The first one of my favorite covers, Romita. It seems like I say that all the time, but this is from '68, and the last one I'm going to show you is from '71. So I was somewhere between 10 and 13 during the time I was collecting these. One more thing is the back of the books tend to look dirtier when I film it as opposed to how they look in person, probably just because of the close-ups. But we'll get started here. There's some wear on this book. A little bit of color loss right in here. You'll probably be able to see that better in a minute. I have this one, I think, between 8.0 and 8.5. That's just a little bit worn. Well used and loved. So now here's the back that I'm talking about. If for some reason it looks way dirtier than it does in person. A lot of that dark miscoloration is caused from stacking wear. It could be a couple different things, but back in the day when these were put out, there were no plastic bags. There really wasn't any protection for them. I used to put them in like Ziploc bags or whatever the heck they had back in the time. But once bags came out, I started putting everything in bags, and you can tell the difference in my collection as it gets older and older. Oh, the back of the books are a lot whiter. Pages here are probably off-white, maybe pushing too white, but they're all off a little bit. Whenever I buy a book, if possible, I'd love to have a picture like this of the inside of the spine, because you can see not necessarily creases but dents that you don't see from the outside of the book. So if somebody's showing you a picture like this, you might go, oh wow, that's great, and then you open it up and you can see a bunch of dents there, not necessarily creases but dents. So if somebody shows me pictures like that, it'll tend to make me lean towards purchasing a little bit better if it's something that I like. I'm always a little leery when somebody just shows the front and the back cover, because especially on eBay they don't charge anything extra to throw in like 11 pictures. So my point is, if you're not throwing the pictures in there, you're hiding something. I'll never buy a book if they don't show the back cover, even if it's CGC'd. Interesting thing, it tells us by the picture here, it must be John Buscema. Yep. It seemed to me like whenever a title either needed help or when the main artist left, eventually he ended up taking over the artwork because he was so good. I mean, he did it on the Fantastic Four when Kirby left for Romita, did a couple issues, and then he came in and, did it for a couple of years. When Barry Smith left Conan, who do they bring in? Him. And he does it for quite a while and does a great job with it. He was a great artist. Very versatile. I read an interview with him once where he said that he really didn't like drawing superhero books. And it was kind of disappointing because I really liked his artwork. And he said he loved doing Conan because he was able to do more scenery and horses and stuff like that. So now here I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 12 years old. When I was collecting these, I loved them right from the start. My first couple of books I got were in the summer of '67. And then I started buying more books because I was really into them. And then probably by like the time I was 10 years old, January of '68, I was actually collecting. I was trying to find back issues and, you know, I was really, really into it. So it didn't take me long to become a collector. Hope there's not too much glare on there. I'm just trying to show that you can see a lot of dents and wrinkles and stuff better with the light on it. Another thing I like to see too from the inside of a book is if they have it open like this, a lot of times you can tell along the top here if there's overhang. Sometimes you really can't tell from, you know, a straight on picture on the outside of the book. A lot of times you can tell if there's overhang and you'll see some bending or folding up in there, or maybe even some little tears. Alright, last one, number 97, another one of my favorite covers. I just love this one. I love the way he did the smoke, and I don't know, I just like everything about his artwork. Gil Kane was doing the book at this time, and I like Kane. Some of his covers I absolutely love, and some I really don't, but kind of like Romita, you can spot his artwork a mile away, and he was pumping out a ton of covers. Let's get the spine here. This one's in really nice shape. Well, pretty close to the 101 I showed a little on the last video. See, this one was really not too much indents or bends or folds. But then, like my 98's got this huge crease across the back cover. Big fold mark, probably runs about 3/4 of the length of the cover. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do one more Spider-Man, and I'm going to start jumping into other parts of my collection. Thanks for watching, guys, and for commenting. And if you feel like throwing a grade on one of these books, go ahead. I just love to hear everybody's opinion on stuff. Take care.